Ich kann doch nichts dafür, dass ich dich liebe.
Meine Tochter liebt ein Mädchen. Seltsam.
Lass uns doch nett sein zusammen, ja?
Bin ich gemein, ich sag die Wahrheit, Petra. Lüg mich an. Bitte lüg mich an.
Hello, welcome to Movie Uppers. My name is Bob Sham.
I'm Angela.
The sounds here may be dogs. This month, movies are gay, too. This is our second time visiting the theme of LGBTQ made and adjacent movies. Classic movies with a lot of odd subtext, which are kind of my favorite. And then, of course, these more, I was going to say modern. This movie came out in 1972. But ahead of its time, as it would seem, because this is all about female relationships, female romances.
This is 100% a feminist movie. There's not a single man in this movie.
Plötzlich so blöd, du Kuh, hol Zeitung los!
Sure.
Except behind the camera.
I guess it could definitely qualify as a feminist film,
Yeah,
no
it
doubt.
definitely is.
It just feels more natural of in and of itself. There is a moment where it is pointed out by a character that didn't know the main character's mother, didn't know that she liked women, but it isn't anything that's like supposed to be some kind of a revelation. We're talking about another Rainer Werner Fassbinder movie, one of two we're going to be talking about this month. The Bitter Tears of Petra von Kant from 1972, written by Rainer Werner Fassbinder, adapted from a play he wrote.
It's definitely a play.
You can very much tell that it's a play.
Yeah.
One of his West German movies. And one of his most well-regarded movies as well.
Interesting. I did not know that, but he has in the last 2 years become one of my favorite directors, filmmakers. I love him. I will watch any movie that he has any part of any day of the week.
Well, he has plenty, and we've gotten a few under our belt. We were introduced to him through Fox and its friends last year, and then we didn't talk about it for the show, but we went to our local independent theater, and they were running the BRD trilogy.
Yep.
Which is Lola,
The Marriage of Maria Braun.
and Veronica Voss.
Yeah.
The lead from Marriage of Maria Braun is in this one, Hanna Schygulla, and she's like so pretty.
She is so pretty, and she has that thing where she's so pretty, and then there's one little imperfection, like she has a small tooth.
I love that.
And there's something
I saw that
about
too.
her small tooth that makes you remember she's a real person, and it's even hotter.
Yeah.
Because there's no hiding that. They're not fixing her. She is a very natural beauty.
Well,
The second she walked in, I knew.
as well as Hanna Schygulla, it also stars Margit Carstensen, Irm Hermann, Eva Mattes, Katrin Schaake, and our lead, Petra von Kant. She's a successful fashion designer.
We have also seen this actress in one other movie that we've done for the show, Possession.
She's the older lady that the guy has the lady with the broken leg, right?
Yeah, the friend of the family who comes over. I think they fuck at one point.
They do. It's so strange.
And then she dies.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah, Margit or something was her?
Yeah.
No, Margit
that's
is
her
the
real
actor's name.
I think it is Margie in the movie, though.
I thought it was.
Yeah, it is.
European actors, they're all very tight-knit here.
The most fascinating person in this movie to me, and I know we're going to talk about each character, is Marlene.
Oh, yeah. She's completely quiet in total servitude.
Never says a word.
Speaking of which, our lead, Petra von Kant.
Yes.
Do you think she's a good person?
Plötzlich so blöd, du Kuh, hol Zeitung los!
No. She's not a good person. She
Why?
is not only controlling and manipulative, she is a liar.
She's a bit of a sadist.
She's a bit of a sadist, but she also presents herself as one thing. And then you realize at a point you don't know if you can believe anything she said about her marriage that had just ended, because she paints it as though she and her husband both wanted to be completely equal and open and talk about everything and be brutally honest, and he couldn't handle how brutally honest she was.
Right.
And then she gets in this relationship with Karen, and I know we'll go more into that, but immediately starts behaving opposite from what she says she wants and is.
Yeah.
She completely becomes destroyed by the idea of Karen being with anyone else. And Karen says to her, you wanted to be open. You said we could be free and honest with each other.
This whole movie takes place in Petra's apartment, penthouse,
Whole
wherever.
thing, and only one level of her apartment. There's an upstairs we never see. I love the way this movie is shot because it's sort of the opposite of my other favorite thing, which we've talked about, which is going over walls and like kind of looking at a building as though it is a dollhouse. This one is completely encapsulated in 4 walls that are 4 real walls, and they have mirrors everywhere.
It's a little constricted.
It's so well done, though.
And yet there's so much, like every little piece put somewhere means something in this movie.
Absolutely.
And
every shot.
And the movie's broken into like 4 acts, and Petra is wearing like a different type of wig in each act that's indicative of where she's at in her emotions in that time. But yes, it all focuses on her home, and her assistant, Marlena, she never says a word through the whole movie. She's very striking, and she has this broken kind of look, expression. She comes off very dry, and she's basically in service, complete service. They have this relationship. Not only is she getting all this stuff, like her personal maid, but she's also doing her drawings for her job, for her business, for her design.
She does her drawings. She will interrupt what Marlena is doing to order her to do something else, and Marlena just keeps pivoting. She wants to do every exact thing, even to the point where Petra will yell at her.
Klatsch nicht so blöd, du Kuh, hol Zeitung los!
Even though she's the one that pulled her away from it multiple times. You can tell that Marlena is in love with Petra, and Petra knows it.
Yeah.
And Petra uses her because she knows she loves her, and she gives her just enough. Like at one point, Petra at the beginning, sweaty and has like a messy wig on, and she's in a negligee. She pulls Marlena to her and slow dances with her for a moment, and then immediately is like, go draw.
Jetzt beeil dich. Die Zeichnung muss fertig sein bis Mittag.
But she pulls her in for just a second, or she'll touch her as she passes, and it's like teasing her.
Marlena is presented as something to be pitied, but we'll get more into that, where we should, and once you get to the end, it's almost like a, well, you should know better kind of thing here. Petra's friend, Sidoni, who you get the feeling they've had some kind of a relationship in the past as well, is talking about a lady named Karen, who's married to this Australian guy who's been gone, but she's going to come help out and model some of her clothes.
So she lived in Germany. This is set in Germany, like all or most of his films. And she grew up there, but she went away when she was 18 and got married, and then came back alone. So she implies that she and her husband are finished.
Broken marriage.
Also, it struck me very hard in that first conversation between Petra and Sidoni. Quite often his films have the very strong woman who says what she wants and knows what she wants. For example, Marriage of Maria Braun. And then the best friend who takes the stance of, why can't we just all be happy and get along?
Yeah.
You don't need to be yourself. You just have to have humility and do what your husband says and just let him think he's in charge. It very much reminded me of the friend in Maria Braun who was not as clever and in that way bored her husband. But then when he was away from her, he missed her terribly because she actually cared about him. I love the layers he gives to every single person in these films.
So Corinne comes over, and to do their little dress, they essentially agree to have an affair together.
Yeah, she's going to make her a model because she's a fashion designer.
But they're talking about, let's talk about what they're wearing in this scene.
Oh my God.
Very sharp, very pointed pieces. Petra's looking like she's the dom, like wearing some dom thing where she's strapped all the way down to her gown or whatever she's wearing, the skirt.
Yeah, there's a strap that's wrapped all the way around. Her feet are barely moving.
She can't do a full stride. She's bound up.
And her back is essentially bare.
And her top looks like chains and shit. It looks like
she's going to S&M prom.
Yeah. And Karine, hers is wearing like this gold brassiere thing, but it's very striking. Looks very hardened, and she's wearing like this neck thing that's the same color.
It's part of her dress. I think it's like connected, but it's this very regal. You're right. It makes her. You almost cannot slouch in this outfit because if you do, everything would fall out. Because it's these very thin strips of material. She's also showing a lot of skin. She came over for them to have a meal and discuss their future of working together, and they literally both dressed up like they're going to. Not just a party or even like the Met Gala if the theme was
kink.
steampunk kink prom.
Yeah.
You know?
It looks like what you would wear to like a kink convention.
And Karine looks like the lady from Flash Gordon. But yeah, they're gorgeous.
I haven't watched that since I was like 5.
Well, they're both gorgeous. There's also... From now on, we always see Petra completely made up and, like you said, in her wigs. But we do see her at the very beginning. She wakes up all sweaty and she's on the phone lying to her mom about stuff. She lies.
Yeah.
And you watch her put her makeup on. I love that kind of scene where you see someone becoming what they present themselves as. And in this, she is on 11.
So, yeah, and it's great when we see her put her wig on. She's always in a wig from that point on of a different type. But we get into the next scene in which...
It's months later.
Yeah, Karine and her have an established relationship. Marlena is still there doing what she does. And she's got this kind of like shoulder length...
She's got a bob.
She's got this shoulder length hair, but she's much more vulnerable in this scene. She's crying out. She's not getting the affection from Karine that she wants. And Karine is basically like, and this is a detail that I've noticed, you notice very quick in Fassbinder movies. She asks her where she was at all night, and she tells her, and it seems like it's a joke at first, but it's not. She was serious. She slept with a black man with a big black dick, and he was a soldier.
From America.
And this is shit. You see this we've seen about 5 Fassbinder movies at this point. We're going to see more. We'll see one more before the month is over, and I'm sure it's going to be the same thing. Fassbinder he has a fetish for
Black American soldier
dick. He loves dark complected men, and he loves black soldiers.
And in the trilogy, it was the same black soldier American in all 3 of those movies, playing different roles, maybe, but he was the through line.
And there was even that element in Fox and his friends when they're at the bar and the soldiers are there.
Oh, yes.
And they dance, I think, at the end or something like that. I think Petra is a lot like Rainer in a lot of ways, especially with the maybe the sadist part. I heard he's got a little bit of that quality.
See that?
With lovers that he has had. Everything does seem to be some extension of Fassbinder as well, including these women here.
Yeah, the thing about this scene in particular is Petra does have the sadist thing, but from the first moment when they meet to now, whatever has happened in these 3 months, it has flipped. And Karen is in charge now, and Petra is the delicate one. She's even wearing a flouncy pink dress. She goes from
hardened dom lady,
hardcore dom, I'm gonna chain you up, all the way to meek. She's got bangs and a bob and a flowy dress, like she looks like your aunt.
Oh, bitte verzeih mir. Versteh doch, was mir da geschieht. Sei doch nicht so grausam.
Steh auf, ich muss mich beeilen.
please take care of me, please love me.
Yeah, she wants reassurance. She's moaning and falling. And this is when Karen says to her, I don't understand. What do you want me to lie to you? And Petra says, yes, lie to me. So Karen says, okay, I didn't go out with a man with a big black dick. And Petra says, really? And Karen says, no, I did. You just told me to lie to you. What is with this, fake reassurance? It's desperate. And that's when you notice you don't even get to see them in love. Because that's the other thing is she's begging Karen to say she loves her. And Karen does say she loves her. And later she'll say, I love you in my own way. Yeah, as a benefactor.
As all this is going on.
A sugar mama.
You have Marlena who's doing the bidding of Petra throughout the entire movie. And
she
not
never
saying
leaves.
a word.
Yeah.
Never leaves despite the situation. Corinne's husband calls. He's in Zurich. And she's going to go see him. And she asks Petra for money, and Petra gives her double the money that she asked for. Yeah. And Corinne is gone from that point on.
Mm-hmm. We don't see her again.
The next act, her bed is gone. She's on the floor.
Well, her bed is one level lower. And they don't show it to you until you get into this scene a little further. But yes, she's got this huge, beautiful shag carpet. But her bed is down lower, and it is positioned. They have these mannequins. And it's positioned so there's two naked mannequins in bed in an embrace. And a third mannequin standing over them watching. And it is a tableau of the life they've been living for the past 6 months.
Petra is completely broken. The phone rings. She answers it. She says,
Hallo?
Nein, hier ist nicht von Kant.
Corinne's name, but it's never Corinne.
So she keeps hanging up.
So her daughter shows up, Gabby, and her friend Sidonie comes over, and the daughter's very sweet and tries to get some love from the mother, but the mother's very distant. She's obviously distracted by this broken-hearted. She's so fucking broken that at the end of this scene, she tells her kid, just to go away. She doesn't want anything to do with her. She doesn't fucking like her.
Kleine, miese, verlogene Schweine. Ihr habt ja alle keine Ahnung.
Mama.
Ach, du bist ein widerliches Kind. Ich hasse dich. Ich hasse euch alle.
Mama.
Was geht dich an?
And her mother shows up.
Yeah.
Oh, it's her birthday as well.
It's
That's
her birthday.
That's why everyone's showing up.
Her daughter also tells her that she's in love for the first time. And she's obviously young. She's got her school uniform on. Petra proceeds to describe exactly what this boy looks like that Gabby is in love with, who doesn't know she's alive. I really like that they don't explain this because Petra just described Gabby's father, who died before Gabby was born.
In a car wreck.
She said he was what was the word she used? It was something like rambunctious driver. She's used a fun word to describe reckless.
Right.
I believe that she described Gabby's dad.
Yeah, I think that's the implication
was
there.
Her real love.
It just and that brings more resentment from Petra, who's just heartbroken anyway, and then lashing out at everyone around her. And this is her mother also finds out that she loves another woman, and so she's shook by that fact. And it's something that we're totally adjusted to, and then we forget, of course, in this society, you're not going to be too open about that.
What was lovely about that exchange was after the whole breakdown happened, right? Everyone's fighting and yelling at each other. Petra's been put to bed and her wig is off and we're seeing her as herself again. And the mother comes in and they're talking about it. And Petra said, I thought you might hate me. Something along those lines. I thought you might hate me when you found out that I love a woman. And the mother says, well, maybe I do. But I may not understand you and I am still processing this, but what am I going to do? Leave? I'm your mom.
Yeah.
Even if we don't get along, even if I don't like what you're doing or don't understand it, I'm here.
So the phone does ring and Petra doesn't answer it. Someone else answered it and brings the phone to her.
Yeah.
And it is Corinne. We don't see Corinne again for the rest of the movie. but she talks to Kareem very briefly, and you can tell Kareem's just wishing her a happy birthday. And then the call is over. And then we get to the end. Like you said, her wig is off.
And she's let go.
Everyone's left. She's insulted her daughter thoroughly. Everyone is left. She says to Marlena.
Oh, my God.
This is a great fucking scene.
So good.
What does she say?
She says, I want us to work together moving forward. Something along the lines of, let's collaborate and get to know each other.
I'd like to get to know you. And then Marlena pulls out her suitcase.
I love the
packs
way.
her shit and leaves.
This is so perfect because they do have this very dom submissive relationship. But in those relationships, for it to work, the sub is actually in charge.
Yeah.
Marlena has been taking care of her, allowing her to be this way, supporting her through it. The only emotion we see from Marlena ever is when Petra really lays out for Sidonie the breakup of her marriage. And you see Marlena cry.
Yeah.
You don't know at that moment why Marlena's crying. I believe she had a lot going on in her brain. She was not only sad for the person she loved, she was sad because she couldn't comfort her. You know, there's a lot. She's watched this woman that she cares so much about go through all this. But the moment that there's even the implication, the idea of this relationship should and can change, Marlena's done. It's not what she's there for.
But it also seems like Petra has come from the other side of grieving this loss of Kareem.
Yeah, and I think she might be open.
She seems changed.
Yeah.
And when she tells Marlena, like, oh, we should collaborate, I'd like to get to know you. Yeah. She's essentially saying, she's essentially breaking up their relationship.
Yeah, absolutely.
And she knows it. And when Marlene is packing up,
she's smiling.
Marlene is presented as this.
She's letting her go.
You might think that she's a victim, that she's jealous when she's crying, that she's upset. Poor Marlene. No, that's what Marlene wanted. Petra can't provide that anymore because she has changed. She's become a different person. And so Marlene's like, I'm out.
If Marlene didn't want that, she never had to be there.
Yeah.
She was there 24/7 for that woman. But all she wanted to do was serve her. She doesn't want to be her equal, and that is okay.
Well, when you're thinking about the implications of abuse, that's how people would, because that's how it's meant to redirect you into thinking that is an abusive situation until you get to the part where you realize it's a mutual relationship.
Exactly. And that is what makes it so great is you don't know. Yeah. You don't understand. At the beginning credits, Fassbinder always puts his credits all at the beginning. Or most of them, at least. He introduces all the cast very specifically. Can't read a lot of it because
also the era and time of movies as well.
Sure, in a different language. The actress who plays Marlene, when her name is on screen, it's something along the lines of, thank you to the person who became Marlene for this.
Irm Hermann is the actress.
Yeah, it's like the way it was worded was very much, thank you for taking this on and doing this for me. Mm. It almost makes me wonder if that person, I would love to know the history of the stage show, like if they did it, if he just wrote the play, did they do the play? Were these people in the play? I can't imagine other people playing these roles. There's a beautiful, tragic fragility to Petra that I don't know if a lot of people can accomplish.
Yeah, it's definitely it's a unique movie and a unique layered look at female relationships here. It's very fascinating. Mm. I mean, to think of even any other director who can strike that line amongst interpersonal relationships is maybe like an Ingmar Bergman or something like that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But yeah, Fassbinder really does kind of nail it here.
You've got the daughter, mother, grandmother. You've got the headstrong lover, the humiliated best friend, and the submissive, servant character.
Girlfriend.
I truly also think that if Petra had gone one step further and said, come get in bed with me or take off your dress, I think she would have also left. Even though I think she loves her. Any diversion from that relationship, and I do think it's really hard for people to understand who are not into the sub-dom thing. And I've read a couple of books where that's like kind of a thing, and like I was younger and obsessed with that movie Secretary. But there's this thing where to the outside eye, if you don't know the people in that situation, it could look abusive. It could, you might not believe them that that's what they really want, that they want to be controlled. But there are people who want that, and it is mutual, and it is totally okay.
The nuance is completely invisible if you're not directly inside of that.
And watching it, you don't know it until that moment where she cuts it.
That said, I'd love for you to kick me in the balls with some high heels.
I don't even have any high heels.
No, you don't. Put on your boots and kick me in the balls. Anyway, that's a great way to ruin a good movie discussion. It's just demand that you kick me in the balls.
We have a whip over there.
The Bitter Tears of Petra von Kant from 1972 by Rainer Werner Fassbinder. It's a good one. It's a good one. One of the probably great movies about women's lovers and relationship. Women as lovers and relationships and stuff like that.
That whole room smelled like sex, too.
And they're all synced up.
They're like sweaty.
It all takes place under this big mural that's based on an actual painting where just all these people are just completely nude and laying about.
He also does the thing where music is only present if it's played.
Right, the platters.
So it's her records that she loves, and she plays these records. And there is an entire scene where the first moment where Karine and Petra are getting to know each other, where Marlene is on the lower level of the room just typing on the typewriter.
And you can hear it.
And so steadily and succinctly that I truly wanted to know, was she even typing anything real? Because it was her imposing her presence on the entire scene. Yeah.
And I was trying to listen to that, like, if the little letters make different sounds. Like, at one point, it seemed like she was just pressing the same button over. It was hard to tell, but that I was lost in that. But, The Bitter Tears of Petra von Kant, 1 through 5 each. How much do you give it?
5.
You can give it a 4.5.
Totally fair.
It's an S-tier movie.
Yes.
The Bitter Tears of Petra von Kant is now an S-tier banger, resting comfortably between the movie Tangerine and The Killing.
Hell yeah.
Those movies are fucking good. We're all about them. Maybe the best Fassbinder we've seen so far. We have one more at the end of the month. Querelle.
I'm excited about that.
So check the show notes for links, other places to find us. We got more gay LGBTQ movies all month long from a variety of eras, places in the world, whatever. Come on right back. Like and subscribe. Check the links below. Leave a comment. Tell us what you think. What's your favorite Fassbinder? Let me know. This movie was actually recommended to me a year ago after we discussed Fox and His Friends. Someone that I had known through Documenteers going back. Yeah. DM'd and recommended this movie. And
thank you, person.
So I always knew I was going to be checking this out.
Yeah.
But yeah, so let's get out of here.
Movies are gay, and so are you.
You're gay.
Lass mich doch, du Kuh!